Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever Ember wanders near.
Because, like, honestly, people have been following, like, Reckless Ben and whatnot, and other people, like, people have not been following Nick Shirley so much anymore. Granted, when I post this on YouTube, it's gonna basically get suppressed like hell by YouTube, but I don't care. I'm still gonna do it. So Nick Shirley is exposing more fraud schemes. He is in New York City, and he is exposing a $1 billion fraud scheme in New York. Now, this is a long video, so you know how that goes. His video is like an hour long. So, so this might as well jump into this now because this may take a while. But yeah, he's in New York City, and he is apparently exposing a $1 billion fraud scheme. So, let's see what we got.
Like $12.9 million on 7,000 patients, and you say there's not 7,000 patients. Are you committing fraud? Does this daycare pay you to come here?
Yogi.
You just said yes. Here, 3 durable medical equipment companies were launched, and so we're wondering, like, where's the equipment at? Our tax dollars are paying for old people to do Tai Chi here inside of New York.
So you might wonder, is that the best use of dollars, or are we better off?
He's got Dr. Oz.
Life-saving treatments in hospitals.
One of the largest fraud schemes in America is taking place in New York City as billions of dollars is being.
God, I remember this speech. Oh my God, this pissed me off when he did this. This was his Independence Day address as the mayor of New York City. He did an Independence Day address, yeah, with the backwards desk. Some people are saying like it's a false front, like this desk has like a false front, and he's not actually sitting at it backwards. I don't know if I believe that. He's that much of a dumbass. But here's what pissed me off is he made this speech that he put out for Independence Day, and all he did in this speech was bash on America. Well, he's got, of course, all the token minorities standing behind him, holding American flags, and like for practically his entire little speech, all he did was just bash on America. That's all he fucking did. I hated it. It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting that the mayor of New York is just going to bash on the very country that made it possible for him to be sitting here as the mayor of New York in the first place. It's fucking disgusting.
Defrauded by organized Korean and Chinese mafias, along with other foreigners operating and stealing taxpayer dollars. They are using the elderly and the needy to build the United States government billions of dollars at your expense. In the state of New York, government-funded personal assistance has become the #1 fastest growing industry in the state, going from $2.5 billion in 2019 to now nearly $12 billion in 2025.
Jesus.
It is an industry full of fraudsters who have taken advantage of the system, and as New York City leads the state with funding and amount of providers, locations like Flushing, Queens have more than 70 adult daycares within just a few blocks. Some of these daycares receiving more than $40 million to watch the elderly play board games at the taxpayers' expense. And to see the fraud firsthand, we headed to an adult daycare who had received over $5 million, and they explained exactly how the fraud works and even led us to the main fraudsters in the area. Stay tuned because you're going to be shocked to see what our tax dollars are being spent on.
We're heading to One Stop Senior Daycare Center. This place has billed $5.2 million in just 2025 alone, and they're averaging 276 beneficiaries per day, which is 5 times above the national average of just 48 beneficiaries a day. So they have 5 times the amount of people coming into this daycare each and every single day, and they build 5.2.
Well, it's adult daycare, so I don't think they'd be classified as like patients per se. And the bigger I don't know if like these adult daycares actually classify them as patients or as clients, but still it's like adult daycare is typically those with medical conditions where they are not able to care for themselves. So wasn't Hochul also involved in a Buffalo school cover? I'm not sure if the governor was involved in the cover up of the Buffalo schools or not. I do know that she gave because the city of New York could not balance its budget, Governor Hochul gave the city of New York, what was it? Not $5 or $9 billion. So Mom Dami could say, we balance the budget, along with getting another couple billion from another New York city. Kathy Hochul is facilitating, without question, she is facilitating facilitating fraud and lies and everything happening with New York, especially with New York City. Because while Kamdani is basically pretending, oh, I'm the first mayor that's, we've balanced the budget of New York City. And because we don't actually report on crimes, we've seen a crime reduction when he took out a $12 billion loan from the state in order to balance New York City's budget. So he's basically just kicking the can down the road. He didn't balance the budget. He's just basically shifted where the debt is. Yeah, it's a total of 12. It was a total of $12 billion. He got $9 billion from the state, and he got $3 billion from another city in the state of New York or something like that in order to balance the budget. He basically took out loans from the state and from another city in order to balance out New York City's budget.
$1 million. Let's go see what their operation looks like. It's on the second floor. We're going in. Here we go. Hello, sir. Hello. How are you? Is this One Stop Daycare Center, right?
Hi.
Awesome. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Amazing. We were wondering if we could check our grandma into daycare.
Oh, okay. Okay, come, sit. So,
And we have some questions as well.
We were instantly welcomed.
This is more than he usually gets when he does these fraud schemes where he says, we want to check so and so into daycare, and they usually just go, no. This guy's like, come on in, sit on down. So already this guy off the jump is doing more to not seem fraudulent than the majority of the fraud places that Nick usually checks out.
In, and these individuals did something that no fraudster had ever done before and actually opened up and talked about their business. Now it's super important to follow this conversation because they expose exactly how the fraud happens.
Is there 270 people here today?
No.
No.
Yeah. So right now, when was that?
2025.
Yeah, last year. Yeah,
Last year.
Majority of our members left.
They left.
Yeah.
So last year was big business.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's less than that. You can check up for the current the billing.
So what happened to all the people?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
going to everywhere else. Everywhere that maybe you guys know why you're here.
You're searching for the fraud or claim or something, right?
You guys chose the wrong place.
Not here. I'm gonna recommend.
We have
Oh, so you can tell us where the other fraud's at?
We would. Is this being recorded?
Yeah.
Okay, so we would love to, but we're very concerned. We were trying to maybe reach out to other actual government agencies.
Yeah.
But we're very careful because it's a conflict of interest between us and other people.
And other daycares.
Yeah, but us.
Wait. Hold on. Am I understanding this correctly? They're admitting to fraud, and they want to help him find bigger fraudsters. Am I understanding that correctly? That's why he's like, oh, wait, there's a conflict of interest because we want to reach out to government agencies, but we can't because they'll bust us for the fraud. I mean, no honor among thieves, I suppose. Wow, okay, this is fascinating.
I'm actually glad that you guys came.
You are the one the Minnesota, right?
Yeah, we help America save lots of money.
Yeah.
Very
And so
good.
we're concerned about some of these crazy numbers, 5.75 times the national average is quite a bit.
The current we are the biggest daycare right now.
Yeah.
The size matter. The faculty is the biggest right now.
And this daycare truly was gigantic. It had a cafeteria, a ballroom, had an upstairs, had a massage room, a karaoke room, a room for people to do art, a pool table room, and even a place for them to play their own instruments. And now they started explaining why others were leaving their daycare to go to other daycares to receive kickbacks.
We used to grow bigger. And then those members, every time they would come in, they would mention some sort of other benefits that they would get. Every time we rejected it.
The fact that this facility is so huge and is so well appointed this, like, you can see by the meeting room, by all of this, this costs a lot of fucking money. It kind of like, you know, they took him on a tour. It kind of makes you think that maybe this place isn't a fraud place, but they know about the other fraudsters, and so they're going to direct him to the other fraudsters based on this information. Like, all of, like, everything we're seeing thus far, unless Nick has got some data he can pull up or they say something to change the metric, this place might not be a fraud. Maybe. Now, they may say something that may do a complete 180 on that. They aren't frauds. I've noticed it looks legit. It certainly looks legit. It does.
Our channel, if you see the waves, it'll just keep getting discharge and discharge. So even this year, we hit maybe about a 300 to 400 member discharge, almost simultaneously. And then we all find out that the reason is because other daycares are doing whatever you guys are aware of. So we're losing our members left and right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now we're down to 120.
And do you think like the fraud is real with these adult daycare centers?
Can I say everything? Yeah, 100%. It's 100%. And us, I know another daycare down there, the biggest places are losing the most members.
But you guys don't commit fraud?
No. That's why we're losing members. The numbers speak for itself.
Were you guys ever surprised by how much money you could make running adult daycares?
I mean, of course, but then the funds to run a place this big, even the OIG, Inspector Generals, came last around the end of the year. They did the whole book sweep, they did everything, same place. They sat there, we had a whole meeting. We told them frankly, they said, how do you operate this place? With the members that came in, we were able to barely manage the facility. You know, the rent is insane. The amount of staff that we had at that point was insane. So we weren't making much profit margin even then anyway. So even during that time, they said, do you do any kickbacks? We opened the whole book, they inspected everything. They see no margin for kickbacks. We had no funds to do even such a thing. Frankly, we're suffering, to be honest with you guys, yeah.
Really?
So I need you guys' help.
Yeah, no.
I need you guys' help.
Very, very. Like,
How can we help?
There's so many places that we could send you to do the same thing, and you'll.
Yeah, like he's sounding very legit. He's saying all the right things, but we don't have evidence. Now, it's very easy to basically, because this is a Nick Shirley video, he exposes fraud. So it is very easy to go, okay, this guy is very likely lying about what he's doing. But the fact that they're sitting down talking to him, they gave him a full walkthrough of it. And if you think about it, fraudulent daycares are not going to have these huge, very well appointed facilities. If you're going to do fraud, you're going to save as much money as possible. You're not going to have these grand buildings that are outfitted with all sorts of amenities for their residents or for their clients, and they're not going to trick them out to look at this giant chandelier in the foyer, this office. You would not expect a fraudster to do that because they're like, why should I spend money? I'm doing fraud, so I don't need to spend money to really like beautify my space because it won't matter. And that alone, the fact that this is such a large and well-appointed facility, excuse me, is what makes me, pardon me, that's what makes me think that the guys might actually be on the up and up. Yeah, it's possible he could be lying about everything that he's saying right here, but when you take in the totality of the setting plus with what he's saying, I kind of want to believe him. I really do kind of want to. Where are the people? Well, that's what he's saying, is that they've lost a ton of clients. That a ton of their clients have gone to other adult daycares because they're giving the clients kickbacks. So they're going to these other adult daycares, they're fraudulently signing them up and claiming that they're watching them, and then these fraudulent adult daycares are giving kickbacks to the clients for not, whereas these fraudulent daycares are not actually taking care of them. They're probably just sending them home, but they send them home with money in their pockets and nobody says anything. That's what it sounds like he's saying. But he should still have some unless he's lost them all. He did say that they're down, like they had, what did he say? How many did he had before? Like 300 something. And now they're down to like 100 something. So like they've lost over probably half their clientele at this point. So he's, Maybe there's some in there and we just haven't seen them on camera, perhaps. I don't know.
Really get whatever you need from them.
They then told us some of the daycares that were actually committing the fraud.
I mean, almost every daycare that you see in Flushing, every daycare that you walk in is doing the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So how does the fraud work then? So like someone takes in the people and then they start getting kickbacks, or they start billing other transportation companies, or
So just now I was
durable
having a
medical-
consultation with two members. They've been here with us forever. They're telling us that all their friends are leaving. We already know what's going on. So they're telling me that every daycare that is doing it is teaching them how to like logically think about this. They're treating the kickback as not a kickback. They're just thinking that if, let's say, the CEO makes a profit margin, then they give that margin back to the members. So they tell the members that that's not a kickback. We're telling them it doesn't matter, then the funds should decrease so that there is no sufficient funds for them to actually flush it back out into the public. They don't understand that. So usually it's per member, per day, per referral, who do you come with, how you get there, how many people you bring.
so like the way it works is an old person then tells their friends, hey, join us, join this daycare. Then we get a kickback off of you joining, like a referral program.
Correct, exactly. So let's say
And they bill Medicare and Medicaid.
No.
Medicaid.
Medicaid. So you, companies like you guys bill Medicaid, and so then these old people are giving kickbacks from Medicaid money to
So what?
So
the old people.
Exactly.
Is it a daycare that's giving the kickback for the referral?
Correct.
Or it's not Medicaid. It's a daycare giving the kickback.
But with Medicaid's money.
Medicaid money.
Correct. And when that fund and the specific daycare bills something per member, then there's basically deals that's going on between them two. You know what I mean? Like how many days do you get? Basically, let's say you come into my daycare and you have X amount of days. Then that's funds that I'm making off this one member. There's a kickback portion of that goes back to that member.
Wow.
If you have a referral or a large group, usually people move in groups these days. So that's what's the,
So these old people are out recruiting people to come to certain daycares.
Members themselves, friends, people that's all about money. You know, previous business owners that retired, even the daycare itself, they have staff in there, or stuff like that. Is
Wow.
the whole
So, as an owner side
Wow.
of that, I can say that's why I wanna close the business at this moment, because I cannot compete them like money. I cannot do that. So yeah.
Were you guys ever doing that?
no.
We then left and headed to the #1 daycare in the
Wow.
area that's received over $44 million over the past few years. And this is how much money they received this year.
We're outside of Sunrise Senior Service. In 2024, this adult daycare right here billed $12.9 million. In adult daycare, they paid $10.8 million. And in transportation, they paid $2.1 million. The last daycare we were at said this is the one that
Now remember, that's the transportation division is like the hub of the fraud. He discovered this when he was in Minnesota. Is it all stems from the transportation, because the transportation gets them to the daycare, gets them to the hospice care, gets them to the child care. It's like so these places will bill the government for Medicare or Medicaid, and it all kind of focuses on that transportation part of it. So how's the transportation department billed in here? They're calling nursing homes adult. Well, no, because they're not nursing homes. Nursing homes would be where an elderly person lives. That's what a nursing home is that it's an elderly person that cannot care for themselves. So they have to reside in the nursing home to receive like 24-hour care. Adult daycare would basically be for families that are able to care for their elderly, like in the morning and at night, but the family has to work, and so they cannot be there to care for their elderly family member during like the daytime working hours. So they drop off their elderly family member at the adult daycare to be cared for by the daycare center while they are like at work. And it's basically, think of it like a child, but an elderly person. It's just someone that cannot care for themselves. The family is not home during the daytime hours because they have to work, so they drop them off at the daycare. They do their work. They pick up their family member on the way home and bring them home where they can care for them.
is taking all their clients and they're giving kickbacks. Let's go see what's going on. So look right here, they just put them in this van right here. They bust these old people in, and then they bring them in here, and then they're taking kickbacks. Oh, we're going to Sunrise Senior Service.
I am working over there.
Oh, perfect.
What brought you here?
Oh, I would like to sign my grandma up for daycare.
Can you repeat that again?
I would like to sign my grandma for daycare.
Oh, she's American, right?
Yeah.
Only Korean, right?
Here, so, yeah.
So you're discriminating against Americans?
No, not no discrimination. But yeah, only Koreans here. So I think she cannot get along with other people because they cannot speak English.
Oh, she speaks Korean.
Oh, that's American.
Yeah, American that speaks Korean.
American, Korean American.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, then no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? That in and of itself would be a problem. If no one in the facility speaks English, that's a problem. That they're receiving governmental funding and supposedly not one of them speaks English. And then so they're going to do it. They're going to discriminate. Yeah, that's exactly how you know it's fraud. See, he was like, that was a lie. I'm guessing people in there do speak English, at least the staff members do. But he was saying that to try and like dissuade him. Oh no, nobody speaks English here. There's no spot for your grandmother. Just nobody speaks English. And yeah.
Her name's Debbie.
Debbie.
Yeah, she wants to come and play games with the old people.
Oh, yeah, she will be here.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now?
We're thinking about bringing her here.
Oh, when?
Not yet.
Oh my God.
Oh my
What the
word.
Jesus?
Everyone, calm down. Calm down. Is it true, like, if my grandma Debbie signs up, she can then, like, get a kickback and, like, get money?
Kickback and money?
Yeah.
What about the money? I don't
I wouldn't have
understand.
put it like that. If he's trying to catch him in something, I wouldn't have said that. I would have tried to phrase it differently. It said, "Is it true that if my grandma Debbie signs up, she gets like a refund?" Don't call it a kickback because if they understand that, that's immediately going to get their antennae up. But if he says like, I've heard that she gets like a refund or something if she signs up, then it sounds like, yeah, it was way too forward to call it a kickback.
What money are you talking about?
Like, someone was telling my grandma Debbie that if she comes here, then she can get money from the daycare.
She's already a member of here or what?
No, she wants to become a member to get money from the daycare.
I'm the owner. So I
Oh,
can help you.
great, yeah. So, got a grandma, her name is Debbie, and she would like become a potential member of the daycare because we were over at another daycare and they don't offer kickbacks. And so do you guys offer kickbacks?
No, we don't offer kickbacks.
No?
Of course not.
Because that's what the other daycare was saying.
Which daycare?
Well, just the one over there.
I don't know. It's what they're saying because I'm the owner, but I'm not doing kickbacks.
Because then we were doing like some numbers and it said you guys made like $12.9 million in 2024, and which is a lot of money, and then like $2.1 million for transportation companies.
What is it?
So like you.
But okay, a little bit of a problem because look in the back here. Like, this place is full up. Is it full up with like the 7,000 people? The 7,000 patients, like almost 8,000 patients? Probably not, but look at how full this room is with patients or members right now. Like, there's a lot of fucking people in here.
You guys billed $12.9 million, and then out of that $12 million, 10 was for adult daycare and 2 was for transportation.
Yes.
And so they're saying they're giving kickbacks.
No, we don't. So where? Who
Where?
told you that?
Well, the other daycare, because they didn't want to give us kickbacks.
Yeah, because we don't offer kickbacks.
No kickbacks.
No kickbacks.
Do you think it's true that a lot of these daycares are like committing fraud?
I heard some other daycares are doing fraud, but we don't do fraud thing.
Gone to
Where did you
daycare?
come from?
Where'd I come from?
Yes.
Oh, I come from around here.
Yes.
We're just concerned about where our tax dollars are going. So, and how come you guys are the daycare that receives the most amount of money here in Flushing, Queens?
We have a lot of members.
How many members do you guys have?
I don't have to tell you.
Because here it says you guys have
Where did you
7,899.
get this information?
Oh, it's actually from the public databases of CMS
Okay,
and
so
HHS.
do I have to tell you the number?
But this place doesn't look like it can hold
Do I have to tell you?
7,000 people.
Can I have an ID or something?
And he's right about that. Like, they are full up, but how are they going to, like, because don't forget, that's not like basically, okay, so each day you've got this many people and that all adds up to like 7,800 people. It's 7,800 individual people that this daycare is taking care of. And so now, yeah, now we're into the mix. It's like, how is this facility going to be able to handle, even if like they're not coming every day, how is this a facility this size going to be able to accommodate a grand total of 7,800 people over the course of a year? Because that is only that is a yearly number. Over the course of a year, they handled 7,800 plus people per year. This facility can't do that. Like right now, based on, let me see if we can.
But this place doesn't look like it can hold 7,000
Let me see if we can get a better look. Okay, hang on.
here in Flushing.
Let me see
Queens.
if we can get a look at.
Members.
Yeah, so like you could probably fit, I'm guessing, like this is like the entire, it looks like it's the entire space of where their residents can be. Maybe there's some offshoot rooms or something. It looks like they can accommodate, I'm gonna throw a guess out, maybe 50 to 70 people. No, not 300. No, there's no way this place can handle 300. Not a chance in hell. I say at maximum, like stuffed to bursting, it probably could handle maybe 50, maybe 70 people. And that's like max capacity. And they're supposedly taking care of 7,800 plus people in a year. It's not possible. It is physically not possible to have that number of people in a facility of this size.
Have 7,000 HHS.
It doesn't work.
I have to tell you the number.
But this place doesn't look like it can hold seven.
No, they're not, because that's the point I was making. They're not counting each person every time they enter the building. They are basically counting the total number of members that are signed up to receive care at this facility. So this facility is handling a total number of 7,800 plus clients. Now, are these clients showing up every day? Oh yeah, capacity 177. There you go. Good catch. Good catch. Yeah. Sign says capacity is 177. So I was off. But that's still, there's no way, if this thing has a capacity of 177, that they can be doing 7,800 plus. Because that 7,800 plus is the total number of individual clients, not how many times they are on site on the facility. It's just the total number of members that are signed up for this daycare. So there's no way they can handle that level of capacity. It's physically not possible. Even if each member that they signed up only came 1 day per week, they still couldn't do it. Okay, even if, hang on, okay, hang on. Even if, let me do quick math here. Even if every day they had, even if all those members that they signed up showed up once per day, that would still be 1,239 members per week, total, per week. Okay, if you had one member that showed up only 1 day a week, that would still equate to only 1,239 people per week. The total number of members the paperwork is saying is over 7,800. So the math doesn't math. The math is simply flat out not mathing.
1,000 people.
Can I have an ID or something? You're asking me some about.
Well, this is public information because it's public tax dollars that you guys are receiving.
I don't have to tell you, right?
Yeah, but do you guys have 7,000 members, for instance?
No.
Yeah.
We don't have 7,000 members.
Okay, well, that's what it says. You have 7,899 in 2024.
Got it.
Then, so that's not true.
7,000.
Yeah. So are you guys overbilling then? Because you guys are getting paid per patient 1,000.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. 7,900 individual people are signed up for this center. Even and if they max capacity every day, and they only each member for each day only showed up to this daycare 1 day a week, it would still only total 1,239 members.
Mr. White. Yes, science.
Well, math.
$1,600, and that's how you guys got $12.9 million in 2024.
I don't know how they calculate, but I don't remember all the numbers.
But did you have 7,000? I think you'd remember if you had.
No, I don't. We don't have 7,000 members.
So
he just admitted he's scamming.
Do I have to tell you?
Well, you like $12.9 million on 7,000 patients, and you say there's not 7,000 patients. Are you committing fraud? Like, are these numbers wrong?
Please, sir.
$12.9 million? That's a lot of money.
Leave.
$12.9 million. All right,
now they want him out.
You could have just answered the questions. Now,
I said I don't want
now
to.
people are going to be wondering if you committed fraud.
I said I don't want to, but why you keep asking me? I said I don't want to tell you the information.
Got him.
And why?
These are taxpayer dollars, so.
So what? So I don't have to tell you the.
We're sick of people defrauding our taxes. This guy received $12.9 million, and right here it says they had 7,899 patients.
He then left, and the same guy came downstairs.
So we just ran the numbers, and once again we did the math. $12.9 million divided by 7,899, $1.6 thousand per patient, and literally would have been impossible to have 7,000. That's like a small concert. You realize that, right? This money comes straight from Medicaid.
Yes.
Sir, so you technically have a small concert, an arena full of people up in there.
I don't have to tell you that.
That's how much you guys are billing.
I don't have to tell you that, but you're coming down. After you just told him to leave, you're going to come down and say more? 7,000 is not, it's not 7,000, it's 7,900. It's almost 8,000. Yeah, this building would not, this building in and of itself would not have that level of capacity. And he flat out admitted that he's committing fraud because he said, no, we don't have that many members. But it's on the record that they've signed up that many members for the facility. They're billing Medicaid for that many members. So he flat out admitted they're committing fraud. He literally just exposed himself. And then he comes down to say more? Like, what the actual fuck are we looking at here?
Go other daycares.
Billing people for.
Just go for other daycares.
You realize how impossible that is, right? You realize that's literally impossible to have 7.8 thousand people inside of your daycare. You're billing, you received $12.9 million in 2024.
Yeah, you can't check him out any further. You see him, he's trying to say, like, leave. And the funny part is, this dumbass followed them down. He's now on a public sidewalk. Nick doesn't have to go fucking anywhere now. This brain trust is trying to tell Nick right now, you saw by his hand gestures, he's like, leave, leave. And Nick's on a public sidewalk. He doesn't have to go anywhere. He left the business like he was asked to, and then this dumb fuck followed him down to try and argue with him even more. Like, how stupid are you?
Stop threatening me.
I'm telling you, stop committing fraud. Sir,
do something.
Is it possible to have 7,000 people on that one floor? Like, that's how simple it is. Just answer the question.
After he couldn't answer any of our questions, he then called the cops on us.
Can I go, please?
Okay, he's on a public walk.
Gonna call the cops.
He's on a public walk. There's nothing the cops can do.
The population is Flushing. Queens is around 70K. They have 10% of the local population in that daycare.
Yeah, exactly. And so funny, he's calling the cops. All Nick has to say is, we were asking him questions, he asked us to leave, we left, we're down here on the public sidewalk, and he followed us down to continue to speak to us. And the cop, granted, this is NYPD, so they'll probably, like, harass Nick, but yeah, it's the NYPD, so the NYPD will probably tell him to leave, even though Nick is literally on a public walk and he is under no obligation to leave. This is a public walkway. He has no governance over a public walkway.
You do realize you're calling the cops on yourself, right? So this is how the operation works. They bring him in through the transportation company. They bring him in right through this door into this adult daycare, and then they bill Medicaid. 7,000 people are supposed to fit on that second floor right there. 7,000 people is the size of a small
Ugh.
arena. You realize you just called the cops on yourself, right, for committing fraud?
Prove that.
Well, I did. $12.9 million, 7,000 patients, they're nowhere to be seen. Dude just snitched on himself. Hello, ma'am. How are you? Does this daycare give kickbacks? Does this daycare pay you to come here?
여기.
She just said yes. She just said yeah. She
He's probably trying to tell him what to say in uncool. And she's like, yeah, but give me money. These guys are so bad at this. These guys are so fucking bad at this.
said yeah. God bless you. God bless you. I love your shirt, USA. She just said they get kickbacks. She said yeah. Sir, this operation here is pretty crazy.
Dime!
And as we left the daycare, one of the patients wanted us to take a photo of herself.
Wow, looks so fancy. You going to daycare?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to daycare at Sunrise? You go to Sunrise?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That lady's enrolled into a daycare, but she does not look like she needs to go to a daycare. So you have all these people right now who are enrolled into these daycares, and then because these people receive upwards of $12.9 million, they're able to then give those kickbacks to people just like that lady, for example. Are you enrolled to daycare here?
No.
What do you think about all the fraudsters committing fraud at these daycares?
Hey, listen, I seen you on TV all over the country, man, and I'm really for you, man.
So that building right there, Sunrise Senior Service, they received $12.9 million.
They did?
Yes.
This one?
Yep, for 7,800.
I'm legit worried this man might be about to jump up and storm that. The way he just reacted, I'm legit worried this guy's gonna go, they did? Oh, the fuck, I said jump up and start storming the building. Like, this is a true New Yorker sitting right here. This guy might be an Italian, so he might go storm that place and fuck some shit up.
99 adults. It's an adult daycare.
Oh, that's a fraudster then. Yeah, definitely.
Now we're outside of beautiful Palace Daycare. This place received $9.4 million.
Oh my God, and wait, 9.4, and they've received even more patients. This place has more patients than the last one that got like 44 million. Holy crap! This place has got over 100 more patients than the last one.
And it said it had 8,060 patients, and per patient, that is $1,200. And they spent $8.4 million in adult daycare, and they spent $1 million on transportation. And the thing is, these people are smart. Now that the fraudsters are on high alert, there are actually people inside of these daycares. However, these places are billing for 8,000 patients. It's quite literally impossible to have 8,000 patients inside of these.
Who is making and approving these patients? The government. All of this billing is to the government Medicaid program. All of these fraudulent daycare centers are billing the state's Medicaid program and receiving government money for not caring for anybody.
Buildings.
As you enter, you can see your tax dollars at work as Koreans are using it to play board games and play bingo inside an adult daycare.
So let's see if we can enroll Debbie into some daycare. My name is Nick. We're coming through. We're just over at Sunrise Senior Daycare, and we've been going to a few of the daycares around here, trying to look for the best one possible for our grandma Debbie.
Will you look? Because I'm busy right now. So will you do the service for the adult daycare? Or?
No, we're looking for a good one for our grandma potentially.
Oh, but I think we don't accept the new member, right?
No members? Why not?
Yeah, yes. Because we have enough. Yes.
How many do you guys have? It says you guys have 8,000 patients here.
No.
Around 8,000?
No. Who say that?
HHS. Yeah, we're looking for potential places for our grandma that aren't fraudulent.
I mean, if you're looking for your...
Because this comes from the public HHS Medicaid provider spending data set.
We don't have that one.
But $9.4 million.
Sorry. Okay.
Do you guys have 8,000 patients?
No.
No. Did you guys bill for 8,000 patients in 2024?
No, that's too much, no.
Yeah, it is a lot, right? $9.4 million.
It's just crazy.
As a reminder, they shut down in California within the last several months. The government shut down, revoked the licenses of something like 400 I think it was child daycares. Not adult, but child daycares, I believe. It was either child daycares or hospices. I forget which one it was. Could be a combo blend or both. And in California, they shut down 400. They revoked the licenses of 400 fraudulent hospice and daycare centers in California. And not one of them called the government to say, hey, this is a mistake. Here's our books. We'd like our license back, please, because this is our livelihood and this is our business. Not one of those California fraud hospice and daycare centers called to try and get their licenses back. Not a single one of them. Just as a reminder.
Do you guys receive money from Medicaid?
No. What are you talking about?
No, so this is all self-funded by the
We're doing
elders?
the inspection right now for the insurance company, so if you have any questions, you have the bad. I'm so sorry about it.
Do you guys not receive money from Medicaid then?
Not me, right?
And remember this guy because we'll be coming back to him later with Dr. Oz.
Everyone is on high alert right now. No one can justify the numbers. As we're leaving now these locations, they're calling everyone. It's alleged that this has ties with potentially the Chinese mafia, and a lot of this money is being funneled and no one really knows exactly where it's going to. We do know that fraudsters here in the United States oftentimes are foreigners, and it's oftentimes foreign governments that have infiltrated our government and are taking our benefits to then funnel and take that money to these other countries. And right now, as we are going to these locations that are receiving millions upon millions of dollars, right now in Poly Market, there is an 8% chance that Mandami, the mayor of New York City, will pass the 2% millionaire tax before 2027. All these people that are becoming.
If he passes that 2% millionaire tax, the millionaires are basically going to go, fuck this shit, I'm out. And he's gonna lose all of those millionaires. All those millionaires will fuck off right out of New York. And then all the money that Mondani is counting on the millionaires to pay, guess who's gonna have to pay for that instead? The glories of communism, right? Yeah, that tax will then be shifted to the middle class, the low class, and the poor. Yeah. The wealthy New Yorkers are already fucking off. Businesses are leaving. They're going down to Florida. The wealthy are basically getting rid of their properties. They're fucking off out of New York City. They're going down south to Texas or to Florida. Yeah, he is literally going to completely fuck the working class over. Yeah, and Taffy Hochul is already begging them to come back, and they're just like, I don't fucking think so. What am I gonna come back for? So you can tax me even more than you already have when I already pay the majority of the taxes for the city as is. Yeah, they're gonna say fuck off. We're gonna go down to Florida where we're actually where we're not where we're not living in communism.
Newfound millionaires, if it passes, are gonna have to start paying an extra 2% on their taxes as well. Kind of interesting perspective. We're outside of Hiroshima Adult Daycare. This place in 2025, it made $7.6 million. And its initial startup was in 2024. So it went from non-existing in 2023, existing in 2024, and then 2025, it went and made $7.6 million.
Well,
here we go.
That's quite the financial jump.
One of the staff was right there waiting for us.
Hello. Hello. How are you doing? Waiting for us? Yeah, nice to meet you, sir. Yeah, is this Hiroshima? Adult daycare? Yes. Received $7.6 million in 2025?
Not sure.
Not sure? Okay, well, I'd like to enroll my grandma, Debbie.
What was that?
I'd like to enroll my grandma, Debbie. Can I get some paperwork? Business is booming here at the daycare. They have it pumping right now. Got all the elderly out here right now. This place made $7.6 million in 2025.
That's not your business.
It actually is because it's our tax dollars. It's public information from the HHS.
So what?
So what?
Yeah, you pay all this tax?
No, I paid quite a bit of taxes this last year though.
I don't care, so can you leave?
Would you have a problem with us being here?
Yeah, you guys are disturbing us.
Oh, I didn't mean to disturb you. I was just asking about our tax dollars.
Why are you asking?
$7.6 million for this daycare. New York Medicaid, adult daycare payments from CMS.
I'm in favor of Mondami should tax them even more so they can bring all that money to Florida or other southern states. We've figured out the plan. Mondami is actually working with the southern states, and he's making NYC such an unlivable place that all of the rich people will go down south. We figured it out. This is all planned out by big southern states, chat. It's Big South. They're behind it all.
We're just asking questions about the numbers, sir. But if you don't want to answer, it's all right.
They're letting each other know. Yeah.
520 147th Street.
Yeah, they that's what they do. Because they're all connected. They're all they all know each other. All these fraud places know each other. And so when he starts showing up, we saw it in California, we saw it in Minnesota. When he shows up, they start calling each other and letting him know, hey, Nick Shirley's here, because he's very well known at this point. They say, hey, Nick Shirley's here, button up.
3 white guys are here and they are not leaving. They are disturbing us.
He's calling the cops on us now. We're just asking numbers about the public information. The reason why we're asking these questions is because this is tax dollars. This is New York Medicaid that people pay taxes into, $7.6 million. And I think people are just curious, where is this money going and how's it being spent?
Did you guys talk with Medicaid at all?
Well, this is Medicaid. This comes straight from their numbers.
Yeah, did you talk with them?
We're curious about
Why
what the money.
Why would he talk with Medicaid? Medicaid is paying out according to what the bills that you are sending to them. So what the hell is Medicaid supposed to say? Medicaid would tell him exactly what he's got on these pieces of paper right now.
It's going to, so we're coming straight to the source. And if there's nothing to hide, I don't know why you guys just can't answer the questions.
Well, I just don't feel a reason why we need to answer.
And now we're not saying exactly that all these businesses are fraud. However, we are showing you where our tax dollars are going. And when these people do receive $7.6 million, and we're just simply asking, why do you guys need that money? And they can't answer any of the questions. It does make you speculate a few things.
Now we are speculative about the fraud on this daycare. However, we then talked to one of the transportation ladies who drives one of the vans, and she says that this daycare is the same one as Sunrise, and they built this daycare because they needed another spot to put the clientele from Sunrise. Fraudulent. So this daycare started in 2024, and its second year in business, they made $7.6 million.
Wow, that explains a lot.
Sunrise Daycare just over there, they made $12.9 million in 2024.
This is Sunrise as well. I guess it's so big that they opened this one too. So these are 2 daycares. So if the seniors are not here, they're over there.
And so altogether, that place has made upwards of $20 million, whoever is the business owner of Hydrocine and Sunrise Adult Daycare, whether that's...
Wow, so the Sunrise Daycare is billing for for basically 16,000 people. Since they own this one, since the last one owns this one too, because it's like overflow, they're supposedly taking in 16,000 patients. Basically more patients than the population of Flushing, New York. Holy shit.
One person or a partner, that's a lot of money within just this one block. That's about $20 million. Now we're outside of B&B Adult Daycare. This location made $5.5 million. That's how much they billed Medicaid, and they averaged 241 beneficiaries per day. On their peak day of business, they had 348 beneficiaries. That comes out at $27,000 paid in one day. That is 5 times above the national average for adult daycare centers. Let's see what kind of operation B&B has going on. And I want to keep in mind, we're not targeting any community or any race, anybody. This is just straight from the numbers that we pulled, and these are the numbers that have the most amount of money and have the most amount of suspicious activity going on. So it has nothing to do with Koreans, Asian community. This just has something to do with straight up fraud. And money that's tax dollars are going to, and we're not saying each location is fraudulent. We're just showing you more than anything where our money is going. What do you guys do inside the daycare? What do you do inside the daycares?
Saturday?
In the daycare, what do you do?
I do this.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Speak English?
English and piano and ping pong, everything.
Wow, it is booming in here. Wow, this location right now is popping. They got this place filled
That's
with
a
seniors.
big facility. Wow, that's a big facility. Okay, that is a big fucking facility. Given how packed this is and the number of staff working, first blush thought, believable that they would bill that much. given how many people we're seeing in this room alone, I kind of believe that they could be legit with how many people are in this facility right now.
We're just going to a lot of the daycares here today. You guys B&B?
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you guys here?
Oh, we're just going through some of the daycares around the area. Can we talk to you guys out here?
Yeah, sure.
Do you work for B&B?
No, he doesn't. But he's our auditor. So
I'm an auditor
what he's
of
saying is he knows
healthcare
his stuff.
company.
So the auditors are all coming through today. What a coincidence. Annual checkup. What are the odds that the day Nick Shirley shows up to have an annual checkup? The odds of that happening are very, very slim. So you guys received $5.5 million in 2025. In your peak day, you guys have 341.
Yeah, like I gotta say, based on how full that main room was, considering he had the numbers of something like 200 people, like averaging like 200 people a day, as full up as that room is, I kind of believe it. I kind of believe that they were on the up and up. With as packed as that place was, maybe.
Yeah, right here. So how come one day you guys had 348 beneficiaries?
No, I didn't answer. Can you give me permit?
We don't need a permit to film.
Now, her attitude was very suspicious.
Do you think there is fraud taking place here inside some of these daycares, ma'am?
Like, her attitude is very suspicious right now. Granted, okay, I do have to kind of do a gimme here. I do have to do a little bit of a gimme here. That, you know, Nick's coming in, he's got the cameras, he's asking the questions, he's blindsiding these people. And some of them may be taken aback. And are just like, why are you asking questions? What are you here for? You know, why are you asking these questions? And that's part of how he gets these answers, is he blindsides people. I can kind of understand why some people would be like, what the fuck is going on? And be very hesitant to answer. Because, like, what is he trying to do? And what is he trying, is he trying to expose any of our members? She's thinking about her members' privacy, things like that. Given the amount of people, yeah, the building is sizable. It certainly looked from that shot that they have a pretty substantial number of employees. They have a lot of members or clients in there. Like, I'm kind of like, I'm on the fence. Like, her attitude of like is a little defensive, but it is, I could see it being like an understandable kind of defensive. I'm kind of thinking that this place might possibly be legit. I do. It's like everything we're seeing, the numbers translated into the number of people that we saw there, it might actually be legit. Maybe.
Can you give me your ID? Everybody, can you give
me your ID?
Yes, sir.
Give me your ID.
Yeah. Okay. So give each other your IDs. Give her your ID as well.
Why is he asking for ID?
So I'm not going to give you my ID. My name's Nick Shirley. I have nothing to hide. For you guys' benefit, it would help if you guys could just answer.
I don't want to benefit.
I don't
what's
understand what I just said.
What's $5.5 million?
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Are you guys committing fraud by chance?
No.
We just want to know what that $5.5 million is being used for. And look, around here you'll see lots of nice cars. Range Rover's pulling up right here. It's strange that you guys receive $5.5 million from Medicaid and can't answer a single question. They're freaking out right now.
When you're done, decide right now. What do you want to do?
You speak English, sir? And nobody speaks English here. Yeah, all of our tax dollars are going to locations just like these. This comes straight from New York Medicaid. And all we're doing is simply asking where the money is going, because this is straight from New York Medicaid, but nobody will be able to answer any of our questions. Hello, ma'am. Do you want to answer any questions? $5.5 million went to this location, yet they can't even answer a single question.
Bro, love your video.
Oh, thank you very much.
Really
appreciate it.
What are you doing over here?
We're checking out these adult daycares.
Oh, they're doing it here too?
Yes. What do you think? What do you think about all these adult daycares?
That's crazy.
This place, for instance, right here, B&B, they received $5.5 million.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I don't know, bro. There's a lot of them, I'll say that.
Do you think your tax dollars should be going to fund old people paying cards?
Probably not, no.
Right here in this street, there's another daycare. Silvertown Daycare has this entire plaza.
And that's another factor that has not been considered. There were a lot of people in there, but what are they doing? Because with adult daycare, the whole purpose of the adult daycare is these are elderly individuals that can't really take care of themselves. So all of these old people going in there just to play cards, going to there play like dominoes or mahjong, to sing karaoke, like adult daycare is in place because there's like a specialization required there, like with people that are medically trained, because these are supposedly adults that can't care for one another. If the place is set up as more of a community hall versus adult daycare, now there's a different thing at play here. While there may be a correct amount of people there to substantiate the cost, what services are they providing? If all they're doing is they've set up tables there with cards and dominoes and instruments and singing karaoke, the cost for that is far less than what the average adult daycare might need to bill in terms of services rendered, the equipment that they need. Yeah, exactly. It's more like a country club or a community hall center versus a daycare center for adults. That's another factor that needs to come into play here is, while that may be the correct number of people according to the records, like maybe they do have like 200 something or 300 something a day. That last one did seem like it could accommodate that many, and that place was packed. But how are they receiving daycare services? Or are they just like playing cards for a bunch of hours or singing, doing karaoke or something, and not actually being cared for as a daycare would care for them? Because if it functions like a community center, like it looked, the costs involved by the business are far less than what the cost would be if they were running a legit daycare. So that's another thing that is not been put up. So they're basically billing Medicaid for a daycare service, which would pay out higher than if they just basically did a community center and they tried to charge people the same amount. So that's something else to consider. That while it looks legitimate, there may be people there. What services are they actually providing to all of these people? I'm a little surprised that Nick hasn't brought up that core distinction between what we're seeing with our eyes with all these people there and what the service is supposed to be provided.
This is the daycare right here.
Oh God, that's empty.
And it's more just like a cafeteria than anything. Looks like some people are coming out. What's your take on all the daycares
they're pocketing the
popping up
difference
here in this part of Flushing, Queens? Do you think it's unnecessary?
What is this for?
Oh, we're just doing a documentary on all the daycares. Do you think fraud is taking place inside the adult daycare industry here?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. But
are you committing fraud?
hopefully not.
Hopefully not. So let's say you guys aren't committing fraud, but these other daycares are. What kind of fraud do you think they are committing? And do you think some seniors do receive kickbacks for going to some of the daycares?
There are rumors, but there's no, concrete, anything concrete.
He seems legit. I don't know. Well, I don't think we saw numbers on this one. I'm not entirely sure that we saw numbers on this particular facility. So he's more calm than the others. He's calm now. Remember when we saw his California video, some of them that talked to him, they initially started off calm, like they were going to try and like run a game on Nick. And then when he wasn't falling for it, then they became aggressive. So that's what he could be doing. If he is running a fraudulent daycare center, he could just be trying to present a calm front, where he's like, "Yeah, I'm a good guy. No, I'm one of the legit ones. I'm not a fraudster." And then as Nick continues with his questioning, we may see a change in his demeanor.
Proof or evidence.
Does this daycare pay you to come here?
Yogi.
Do you notice a lot of these adult daycares popping up around here?
I'm running for assembly, actually.
And what do you think about all adult daycares here?
I know that they all steal money. I mean, that's just part of politics. So 100% there.
And you, as you live around this area, what kind of rumors do you hear about the fraud that does take place? How does it work?
Well, the thing is that social services are supposed to be for the residents. They're supposed to be for the retirees, the elderly, right? And there's only a certain number of social services available for those that require it. But because there's so much money involved, because the money is just coming from the government and it's not accounted for, then of course they're going to be taking it. And it's going to, all it does is it takes it away from the taxpayers, the elderly, the retirees. You know, those are the people that are affected, and those are the people that are left out because they don't have a voice. You know, the elected political dynasties that have been running Queens and New York for so long, they're held to their donors, and the people that donate to them are these NGOs and special interests, which then they funnel the money back into them, and that's really the problem.
Keeps the cycle going. So there's a never-ending cycle of fraud that takes place here because, for instance, right here, the transportation companies just pulled up. They receive money from the daycare. They also then bill out the pharmacies that are around the block, and then the durable medical equipment companies, and then on top of that, that money gets funneled back into the politicians' campaigns, and they can continue to push their agendas.
Yeah, and there's no oversight. Right? There's no way to check any of this fraud, but they write it in such a way legally to where technically it's not. You know what I mean? But it's not raw. It's not right. You know, and that's the issue.
Outside of this daycare, we got a Mercedes. We have an M3 BMW right here. Lots of nice cars rolling around these daycares. Got a Porsche right there, another Porsche right there. Here at Living Well Daycare, this place received $8.6 million in 2025, and they're the largest payee among a lot of these Flushing daycares. In fact, they average 271 beneficiaries per day. Their peak day of business, they had 406 beneficiaries, and on that day of business, they made $41,580. That is
So in one day, they claim to have, on one of their peak days, they claim to have 406 people on site.
5.6 times the national average. Let's go see what kind of business they're operating. And Living Well received $8.6 million in 2025 . And on their peak day of business, they billed the state for 406 beneficiaries. My name's Nick Shirley.
No, we don't need any survey.
And sir, could you just answer the questions? No. So we just come straight with the facts.
He's roaching out.
And $8.6 million in 2025. Flushing, Queens is full of adult daycare businesses that I believe are operating fraudulently. None of them will answer any questions.
And this is one section. This is one small section of New York City. It is one small town in one borough of New York City. Can you, this is like what he did with California. How many millions of dollars that he discovered in California in like 0.01% of the entire state. Hell, 0.01% of the city of LA. He discovered millions upon millions of fraud. They are in like one town in one borough of New York City, and he's already discovering tens of millions of dollars in fraud.
And we're coming straight with the facts, straight from the data sets that are public for all of you to see.
Now, what's crazy about this fraud here in New York City is that adult daycares is actually only a small percentage of the fraud. The home healthcare industry is filled with fraud, from the pharmacies to the durable medical equipment companies to the home healthcare agencies that operate. Now we're going to be diving deep into each one of these, and they all include dollars from your taxes. Now, this is exactly how big of an industry it is here inside of New York City.
In New York City, in 2018, they billed $3.5 billion. However, in 2024, it is now costing $11.5 billion, and that number is only growing. So we have some locations here. We've arrived, and here at this building, Red Sun Home Care has billed the government $87.9 million from 2018 to 2024. And in 2024, they billed the government $17.2 million. And just in 2024, they had 122,000 claims, and since 2018, they've had over 674,000 claims. And what's really crazy about this is they're billing all of this off of one service, off of one code. 99.86% of their $87.9 million in revenue comes from one service, from one code. The number is extremely high. Let's see what happens.
Very high.
Here we are in Red Sun. Hello. How are you doing? Is this?
Oh God, you know what's going to happen now? The New York State is going to, once this comes out, what do you want to bet that New York State is going to try and enact a Nick Shirley law too? Like they saw it was successful in California, that they were able to actually get it through and pass in the law. What do you want to bet? New York State is going to be the next, is going to do it. We're going to hear it come from New York State pretty soon too.
In Korean or Chinese?
Chinese.
Chinese. Yeah, we have some questions about Red Sun Home Care. Yes, for instance, in 2024, billed over $17 million and there's 122,000 claims. Could we speak to someone? Hello, how's it going? Good. We're just doing some digging around here inside of Flushing and inside of just New York City in general with some of the excessive billing of home care. And it says here, for instance, there's been $87.9 million in revenue off of one code. 99.86% of all that revenues come from one code, one service. What's the main service you guys provide?
I don't know where you get that info from.
Oh, it's straight from the databases that the government has. HHS, yeah, the HHS, Health and Human Services, and CMS. It's public data because you guys receive public funds from taxpayers, so that information's then left public. Does that sound about right? That
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. What's your organization?
My name's Nick.
Yeah.
Nick Shirley. But so like, what's the Nick Shirley?
From which company?
From Nick Shirley. I work by myself. What's the main service you guys provide?
I cannot answer you.
You guys do, well, I mean, 99% of all your services come from one code.
Roach now?
Can we talk to somebody? So this is the operation of a company that's received over $87 million in the past 6 years. This is for home care, but they're billing off of one code. They wouldn't give us any clarification on what they actually do, so your tax dollars are going to a location that doesn't even want to answer the questions about where $89 million went off of one code. Kind of crazy. Inside of this area,
the California thing only passed through the Congress. I thought it did pass through the Senate. I thought the Nick Shirley Act made it all the way through both the House and the Senate in California. Has it not gone through the Senate yet? Oh, if it hasn't, then okay. I thought it had. My mistake.
Of New York City, you'll notice that there's these kind of buildings that pop up everywhere. They're called pharmacies, and they actually also share with another LLC that's called a DME, a Durable Medical Equipment Company. So this location right here, this one location, they have registered JD Drugstore and JD Plus Pharmacy. So one of those is actually a DME company, and then one's a pharmacy. And what they do is they work together to then work also with like the adult daycares, the home care systems around the area, and they send them to a location like this to provide them services and equipment that they actually don't need. And the Medicaid and Medicare wheel continues to spin and spin and spin because it's a never-ending revolving door between the adult daycare centers, the home care centers, these durable medical equipment companies, the transportation companies, and it's just one big flywheel that keeps it all running. And right here in this location, they're operating two companies that receive money from Medicaid and Medicare inside of one location. Let's see what's going on. So whether this is a place where they store it or they send out the payments, the problem with these locations is that a lot of fraud is committed by people like the adult daycares who then send orders into this location and they actually only provide the equipment. So it creates this whole entire operation where people are saying we need this and we need that. However, they actually don't need this or that. And on average, these locations make anywhere from $2 to $8 million according to CMS industry standards. So it's safe to say a location like this is making around $4 million a year. So here inside of these residential apartment complexes, we have some DME companies, durable medical equipment companies that receive money from New York Medicaid. And it's a bit fishy that they're operating inside of these residential apartment complexes. So we're gonna see what's going on.
Back to the residences.
Premier, Lifeline, and Next Gen. They're all operating out of one apartment. Let's see what's going on. Hello. How's it going, man?
Now this game we know.
Nick. Is Premier DME here?
DME?
Yeah. Yeah. Here, 3 durable medical equipment companies were launched within just a few months apart here, and that takes money from Medicaid and Medicare services. And so we're wondering, like, where's the equipment at?
Actually, I don't know.
But so do you guys not have any of the equipment here?
No, I don't have any.
So how come your husband has this address registered as the location for 3 different companies that receive money from Medicaid for durable medical equipment?
I don't know.
He's coming maybe like half hour. I don't know. Actually,
Do you know what kind of equipment he sells?
No, he don't have. Not at home. He have a job. He needs to go to job. I don't have any equipment.
But does he sell durable medical equipment?
I don't know. At home, nothing. I don't have.
Oh my goodness. Now we're back to Nick's wheelhouse, where basically people are running fraudulent companies out of their homes. This is what he was finding in Minnesota. This was what he was finding in California. They set up these fraudulent LLCs because it's probably easy as hell to do, and they bill Medicaid for a bunch of shit that they don't actually provide, and it's all done out of like an apartment.
Anything.
These durable medical equipment companies are full of fraud. I met up with Dr. Oz, who is the head administrator of CMS, Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, to go deep into the fraud in this sector of New York City. From the daycares, pharmacies, durable medical equipment companies, this place is full of fraud, and Dr. Oz is going to dive deep into it with me and also even confront some of the fraudsters themselves. Be prepared to learn a lot. Inside of this apartment complex, one apartment alone, there is 3 DME companies operating out of one apartment. Is that even possible? And it says that these places can make about $2 to $8 million a year.
Well, first off, was there anything in the apartments when you went to it?
Absolutely nothing. There was a mom and her children, and the husband was out.
It's almost certainly fraud. First off, it's $2 to $8 million a month, believe it or not. When they really get to scale, they may just be at that number now, but these guys grow like vermin very quickly. There's twice as many durable medical suppliers in South Florida than McDonald's because it's easier to open one than a bank account. And the person named in the account is never the person who actually owns the business. In South Florida, the Cuban government's involved. I don't know where these guys are getting their money to go, but they're definitely shipping it somewhere. And that's why I get very nervous about foreign governments getting entangled in this. But to open 3 in one apartment makes no sense, especially when there's no product there. All you're doing is gaming the system. And the fact that we didn't audit it, didn't catch it, didn't stop it, and they're probably out there making money infuriates me. You should bother folks out there because it's your tax dollars paying for this.
So it's literally impossible for someone to be operating a durable medical equipment company inside of an apartment.
Inside an apartment with no goods and 2 other durable medical equipment suppliers, that's a major red flag, the kind you walk in the battle with.
So 3 LLCs inside of one apartment, and Dr. Oz has confirmed that that's not even possible.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
We then headed over to a daycare that had a pharmacy on one side and another medical facility on the other side, which goes to show the perfect example of a location that uses an adult daycare to carry out other forms of fraud.
And so they might be working together. Often that's the case. One of the clues we have is if the social adult daycare center is running a lot of other businesses, a good example might be they're doing transportation. And so it makes us concerned. So this one was actually shut down, the original one, and didn't take long for another one to sprout right up again. This facility was shut down, back up again.
They're like
makes
weeds.
You wonder if the person that you went after was really the appropriate culprit, because maybe they're just, the frontline guy who's doing the beckoning of the boss. The minion here is following the orders of the Don. And when the Don says, okay, you're out of business, you move on to some other endeavor, I'll take care of you, let's put new people in place of it. It's very hard for law enforcement to catch up. The big issue with these centers is not that they're providing social adult daycare, is that it's a clubhouse for criminals. It allows...
Well, you know a really good way to do it? Hook them up. Arrest them. If you can show that they're being fraudulent, file charges against them, arrest them, put them in the box, and say, give up your boss. Give up your boss, you'll never see daylight again. That's what they need to be doing. Thank you, Jarhead. Take you for the 10. Seriously, the most effective way to attack this issue is, okay, you've got these adult daycare centers that are being fraudulent. Build a case, snatch them up, put them in a room, sit down with them and say, here's how it's going to go. You're either going to give up your boss or you will never taste free air again. You will be in prison for the rest of your life. Or you're going to be in prison for the next 20 years, and then after those 20 years are up, we will revoke your citizenship and deport you. Like, and that's how you get their boss. If they have to suffer consequences, they will either give up their boss or not even get into the business in the first place. The reason why this is happening is exactly what Dr. Oz was saying. Oh, they got their license revoked. Okay, so they fuck off. The big boss puts another one in place. They get a new license, and the money machine keeps churning. If that's all that's happening, there is absolutely zero incentive for any of them to stop. Why should they bother stopping if they're not suffering any consequences? This is absolutely basic. If someone does an illegal activity, if someone does something bad and they suffer no consequences, then by default, they're going to go, well, I did this. Nothing bad happened to me. I'll just do it again because nothing bad is going to happen to me. You start hooking them up, you put them in a room, and you tell them you're going to give up your boss or you'll never taste free air again. And then follow through on it. If they refuse to cooperate, they will start giving up their bosses. When you put the fear of fucking God into them, they will give up their bosses, because when it comes to criminals, there is no greater motivator to cooperate than fear. That is just basic. And until you start doing that, it's gonna be a never-ending cycle. Like, oh, we're gonna take away your license. They're not gonna fucking care. And they'll just go open another one like the next week.
Allows these folks who are running these centers to pull together a bunch of seniors who might be innocent, walk in there, and they say, listen, I'll give you a little side cash. Let me have that number that you have, that's your insurance card, and I'm going to use that as a credit card against the government. I'm going to charge the New York State, who's going to then charge the federal government. All that money launders through the system, gets cleaned up in different ways, and it builds a massive criminal enterprises. This business entity, this social adult daycare center, which I'm pretty sure none of your listeners have ever heard of, right? It generated $2.5 billion over the last 3 years in New York State, of which almost all, $2.1 billion, was right here in Flushing, Queens, and Brooklyn next door, and the surrounding areas. You go 10 miles to Long Island from here, doesn't exist, doesn't happen. So if you're me, and I'm supposed to protect the federal tax dollars, it makes me very concerned. Something's wrong when all the money's spent in one place, and the problem is it's now starting to metastasize. This bad idea, the fraud, is starting to spread.
Because it's not like adults just live in one spot here in New York City. So if you have highly concentrated adult daycares only in Flushing, Queens, or in Brooklyn, for instance, and then you shut down a business and then you pop back up underneath a different name or different person, you haven't actually got the guy who's on top, because they're just using, like you said, the minions to then carry out the efforts of the top level fraudsters.
What? Did you see that? Watch the door right here. Watch this door.
They're just using, like you said, the minions to...
Oh, she's like, wait, what's going on out here? Oh shit, that's Dr. Oz. I gotta run! And she fucking roaches back out into the building.
Carry out the efforts of
she was about to come out and talk to Nick, so I can talk to Dr. Oz and fuck Dom.
Because what you're saying. You realize there are much bigger powers at play. And the reason I started thinking that, and I think a lot of others are now, also sort of wondering the same questions I'm having, is how is it possible we let this happen? Is this really a flaw in the system, or is it a feature? Are there good things that might happen if you're running government?
Good question.
If you have this kind of fraud. So in this case, these guys bring together all the seniors. They say, here's the deal. I'm going to give you some money.
By the way, to answer Dr. Oz's question, I think it's a flaw. I don't think it's a feature. It's a flaw because there's no oversight. That's the problem. The biggest problem with all of this is the obscene lack of oversight, because there is none. Nick has got all of the figures on the paper, and yet there's been like no investigation. No one's looking into it. Nick is the one looking into it, and since Nick started his reporting back in Minnesota, now the federal government and Dr. Oz is turning the eye of Sauron onto this. But basically, by the fact that there is no oversight, it is effectively speaking it's kind of designed to be flawed, whether that's intentional or not. If you could actually get some oversight involved, along with the legal authority to arrest fraudsters, you could potentially see all of this dropping down. But until that happens, it will continue, because again, if they don't suffer any consequences, they have no incentive to stop what they're doing. And Jay-Z Turner, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you very much.
But I want you to pretend like you're getting personal care services at home. Now, personal care services, remember, these are things your family would do for you, right? So let's just say, for example, that you've got someone carrying the groceries for you, or driving you to an office, or taking care of some issues your family would normally manage for you. It's hard to police that. But what it does do is it creates jobs. So now all of a sudden you've got basically the federal government hiring people to take care of all the people who come out of here. And all those services, although the state initially pays for them, the federal taxpayer picks up the tab. That's who pays the ultimate bill. And now you have a jobs program. Listen carefully. The most common job in the state of New York by twofold is personal care services that are hired when you go to one of these programs. Think about that. Twice as many jobs as any in the entire state are created by personal care services, and now they're union.
Holy
catch and
crap.
release system. They have BC. These morons have suicidal empathy and actually think the criminals are the victim.
Slight correction. New York will never change their catch and release system so long as they have a particular kind of government in place, a particular leaning government in place. If by a miracle of God, you actually get you get a governing body in the city of New York and the state of New York that is not what it currently is, then you might actually start seeing a change of, eliminating the concept of catch and release, actually enforcing the law, actually arresting criminals, actually putting them in prison. Until that happens, though, unless the status quo is broken by a change in government, yes, it will continue. It will never change because they will continue, and it will actually get worse. It's not only that it will never change, it's going to get actively worse. It already is actively worse. We have actually seen a substantive change for the worse, at least in the city of New York, where crime is not being reported, but it is on the rise, but they just don't put it on the books so they can claim that they've got low crime numbers. They did the catch and release is that like to pad their numbers so it looks like it's low crime. But the actual crime, the actual instances of criminal activity have increased substantially. It's why New York City is losing businesses. It's why they're losing their wealthy. The wealthy are fucking off down south because they have to raise the price of everything because businesses are leaving. Businesses cannot stay open in New York City because they're constantly being stolen from. They're being broken into. They're being mass shoplifted. You're having, these mobs of like teenagers that come in and basically act like locusts and pick these places clean. And so these businesses can't remain open. So they fucking leave. Well, there goes tax dollars when those businesses leave. That's less money that the city's getting in from taxes. There's no businesses that are going to move in because they know, well, we can't put a business in here because the crime rate is out of control. And if we install a business here, we're going to get stolen from left, right, and center. We won't be able to sustain the business. And so now you don't have any businesses to facilitate tax dollars to the city. And so now the city has no income from tax dollars coming in. And it's just, it's a vicious cycle that is leading to, effectively speaking, a communist apocalypse. Because now because we're already seeing this on the path is where Kamdami is going to start, like, once the rich people leave, Kamdami is going to basically start taxing the crap out of the poor people. And if I'm not sure, I know they're trying to do in California. I don't know if they're doing in New York. They're trying to do like an exit tax thing where if you leave, like he's already proposed that if a business wants to leave New York, that they tax the ever-living fuck out of the business just so that business can leave New York. Yeah, that's been floating. And people and his dumbass drones all support that. That if a business wants to, like a major corporation wants to depart, like to move its headquarters or move its operations out of New York City, they want to tax the ever-living fuck out of them just so the business can leave the city that's going down the toilet faster than fucking maelstrom. It's insane. Like everything, like this entire city is going down so fast, it's not even funny. How can they charge them? If they do legislation for it, if they do like what's the word I'm looking for? If they do like city legislation for it, then I think legally they might be able to. How can a tax like that be legal? It's again, if it goes through the city council. And the city council votes on it as legislation, they might be able to actually do it. It can't be constitutional. No, I think it is. I think it actually might be if they make it a local law, because that's the whole concept of the Constitution. The Constitution, states can govern themselves. The federal government cannot step in on that. So yes, it actually would be constitutional and it would be legal. And what's going to end up happening is, even if they do that, the businesses will probably still say, fine, take it, and they'll throw a chunk of money at them and then fuck off. And then the city will burn through that chunk of money and there won't be any money coming in on the back end after they've already gone. It's like, again, it's a self-perpetuating cycle of shit that is going to bring New York City to its fucking knees. And thank you, Gramps, for the gifted.
Those folks, which now creates a separate flow of money. Union dues translate into political support, so it's basically political patronage, and that should be illegal.
Yeah, so these people are really just taking and looting from federal dollars and state dollars as well.
Which puts some numbers on it. When Medicaid, the state, for example, that runs this program, it's paid for by New York State dollars, but they get 2/3 of the money back from the federal taxpayer, which means if you're watching right now from New Mexico, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, even Illinois and California, if you're watching from there, you're helping to pay for this. Congratulations. Yep. You own a little bit of the business. You look around here, not to be specific, because it could be any ethnic group, but this area seems to be overwhelmingly ethnic Chinese. They're very insular. They're very much proud of their heritage. They speak the same language, same cultures. They hang with each other. They don't want to tell on each other. I was actually walking through the streets here, and a charge nurse of mine from Columbia, where I practiced for many years, I'm a professor there. This woman is tough as nails. And she ran up to me and she was so happy to see me. And then she noticed folks around me, with guns. She said, why are you here? I said, I'm looking at these social adult daycare centers. Abject fear. I mean, panic. She says, you have to leave now. I can't be seen with you. And she ran away. Which means that people they both are living in fear because there's actual danger here. This is also, by the way, the hub of human trafficking in the eastern part of the country. But it also means that these kinds of businesses are worth fighting over. And that's why it's not easy to take them out.
We then headed into one of the adult daycares and we started asking people about the activities that they do.
You play ping pong.
Do you like playing ping pong here?
Yeah.
You think taxpayers should pay for you to play ping pong? On top of government ping pong, we're also paying for government-funded Tai Chi classes for the elderly Koreans. So right now we have some people doing some Tai Chi over here. Our tax dollars are paying for old people to do Tai Chi here inside of New York.
So you might wonder, is that the best use of dollars, or are we better off paying for life-saving treatments in hospitals? And the whole concept, this is again, decades ago, but it's now become a feverish pitch, is pay for people so they stay out of the hospital, don't pay for them to go in the hospital. That makes perfect sense in theory. But when reality meets the road, sometimes it's ugly. You get roadkill. And unfortunately, we're now paying for services that historically people would do in their own homes. Somebody would actually open up their home and let people dance in there. Instead, we've now weaponized this funding stream, and now we're building a lot of these social adult daycare centers. And it allows folks who are illegitimate to take control. And I think that's the wrestling match we're having right now in our country. Should we be paying for things we can't monitor, that are unlicensed, unsupervised? Now, how do you grade if the Tai Chi is taught well, so you know whether to pay for it?
Meanwhile, there's a mother struggling to pay her medical bills. Meanwhile, there's someone doing Tai Chi here inside of Flushing, Queens, in an industry that receives...
Exactly. Like, he's talking about it in a very complex way, but basically, they're running a community center under the guise of a daycare center, which should have a more medical purpose behind it. That is the crux of it. Like, if we're going to break it down to be incredibly simple, that's it right there. Like, they should only be like, if there was, if the federal government was going to pay for a community center, just for the sake of example, obviously it never happened. For the sake of example, if the federal government was going to fund a community center for the elderly people, they'd be paying $100 per person for facilities, for food, for beverages, for entertainment, 100, maybe $200 per person per day. With a medical facility, though, now you've got supposed licensing, supposed specialized equipment, supposed specialized diets, and then that dollar number goes up. And so what you have is a garden variety community center with basically wearing the skin suit of a daycare center to to take the costs and basically do it by a factor of 10 for every single person. And that's what you have here.
$2 billion of taxpayer funds.
Just here, just in this, within a few miles of where we are in Flushing. It's not even the whole state of New York. And you go to other parts of the country, they don't really use these that much. But what if they did? What if all of a sudden every part of the country, including rural America, where 60 million people live, we don't do any of these things because they go to their neighbor's home and do it. What happens if they all start doing it? Very soon that part of the healthcare bill grows, and guess who pays for it? You. It comes out of your pocket, you pay your tax dollars. And you don't have a choice because it's part of the federal tax. And then everyone says, well, taxes are too high or we don't have enough money for healthcare. No, we have enough money for high quality care. So I'm gonna blow your mind. You ready? Hold on tight. Double-digit number of pharmacies. How many pharmacies do you need on this little strip of terrain in Flushing? Come on, I'll show you this. You can't even believe this is true unless you see it. There's a strip there. There are more than half a dozen pharmacies, back to back to back. The question is, how many pharmacies do you need back to back to back to back? Now, if I was running a restaurant, I might think about it because it's, a food court. This is like a pharmacy court. So, you got one here.
One right there.
Number two, another pharmacy. Again, the question becomes, how many do you actually need? Another pharmacy. I'm losing track, but there's more.
Now we're at 4.
Yeah, it's like a game show.
So right here we have another adult daycare. Look at this. Across the street. Across the street.
And again, more pharmacies.
More pharmacies.
I mean, after a while, you start to realize something's not right. And then you actually look at the books, the finances, which is my job, and we see billions of dollars being spent on social adult daycare, which it seems inconceivable. The spot we just walked into, they have 15 people. He says they see 25 people a day. What if I could run a business that made millions of dollars and seeing 15, 25 people not doing anything except playing, video games and mahjong and some yoga?
And another adult daycare right there.
Yep. After a while, it's almost clutters your mind to mention more. There's more pharmacies.
Another pharmacy right there.
Good. Now that you're pointing all of this out, what are you going to do about it? That's the ever important question. It's easy as hell to go, oh, look, there's all these adult daycare centers. Oh, look, there's a plethora of pharmacies. There's 25 fucking pharmacies up and down this strip of say, block here. Cool. You've identified the problem. What are you going to do about it? That is a question that we need an answer to more than anything. Is what are you going to do about it? If you suspect that this is all fraudulent, that all of these places are committing fraud, cool. What are you doing about it? That's the answer that I want.
Yeah, another one right there. Another pharmacy right here.
Because if you don't do anything, pointing all this out means
it's like
nothing.
The kids in the back of the seat pointing out the obvious. Everywhere you look, there's something having to do with healthcare. And what again is mind-blowing is there is no.
Dr. Oz is. I'm trying to think of what his official title is. I cannot remember what is he does have an official title in the federal government. He was appointed by the president. I forget what position what his position is in the federal government. If somebody remembers what his position is, please tell me, because I am drawing a blank on what his official title is. His first name is Mehmet. Yes, HHS. So he is the director. Thank you. Yeah. So Dr. Mehmet Oz is the administrator of basically HHS, Health and Human Services. That is his position in the federal government. So basically, all of those billing to Medicare comes under his auspice. Okay? He is the one in charge of doling out all the money that is being billed by Medicaid, which is why I am asking the question, cool, you're pointing out all of these problems. What are you going to do about it? Tell me what steps you are going to take to fix this problem. It's very easy to point here and there and there and there and say, problem. Great. What are you doing to fix it? Until I hear something about what he's doing to fix it, other than, we'll revoke your license, because that doesn't do fuck all, until I actually hear what is going to be done to fix it, I don't fucking care. I can see with my own eyes that there's a shit ton of fraud happening here. What are you going to do about it?
Way, you would build a facility, a street, and think you'd have more than 10 pharmacies on it. I don't think you go anywhere in America and think that was normal, unless there was a cash cow business that was feeding into it, which again raises our concerns that there's something here that doesn't meet the eye. And you look around, these folks tend to be from China and Korea. They don't want us here. We are from the outside. They don't share our culture. Getting these
sounds
folks to
familiar.
talk to us about what is going on here has been really difficult.
We have another pharmacy.
Of course.
And essentially all these people need is a medical beneficiary number, and that is worth more than any credit card that a senior can give anybody.
Some of the drugs in these pharmacies cost more than a car. Think about that.
The federal government itself can't do anything, but you know who can do something? The FBI, the DOJ. They're fraudulently billing Medicaid, which is in turn billing the federal government. That's a federal crime. That falls into federal territory. So you can have the DOJ open an investigation. You could have the FBI open an investigation. You know, if there's federal money involved, which there is, that means the federal government can step in and conduct an investigation and conduct an arrest. Yeah, like, why have they not had the fucking IRS drop down like a fucking hammer on this area?
The lady from the pharmacy actually was a fan of Dr. Oz, and she said that a lot of people come into her pharmacy asking her, what does she give?
Why do those other pharmacies open up there? They're all over the place.
I have no idea. They're doing something funny and just doing what we're supposed to.
Explain to me what funny means. I mean, I
have a lot of customers coming in and asking, what do you give? We don't give anything except for good service.
What do the other people, do they ask for like, money or kickbacks in exchange for?
Yes, they do. But we don't do that. We don't do that.
So it hurts people like you who are operating a business legally, and then you have other people who are taking advantage of the system, and now you have elderly coming and asking for kickbacks or money in exchange for medicine.
Do you want us to stop the fraud? It's a simple question. Would it be better for you if the bad actors stopped taking kickbacks and bribing patients and working with the social adult daycare?
Yeah, of course.
Guess who's destroying these businesses? The fraudsters down the road. If we don't take out bad people, they hurt good people.
Yes.
Not taking out evil is itself evil.
I then took Dr. Oz to beautiful Palace Daycare, which had received over $9.4 million last year alone. And at this daycare, they were all scrambling to try and cover up the fraud.
Give me a rough idea. How many patients do you see here, do you think, a day?
That's per day?
Yes.
Today?
Yeah.
We have the registered already, but hold on. I have a phone call, sorry.
But just give me a quick idea, 'cause I think
Sure.
there's no one reading.
No, the 40 intimates, yeah. So
Hey, hey, got him. Oh, he tried to roach out, and Dr. Oz is like, your phone ain't even ringing, bub. Got him. I love it.
today I'm not sure because you need
Just on average.
Yeah, average. Average.
This is the great part. If it was just Nick, he would have pulled the bullshit he did. But now Dr. Oz is here. He is a government official. He can't pull that shit anymore. And I fucking love it.
50. We have 2 shifts. Yeah, 50 per shift.
Would it even be possible for you guys to have 8,000 different patients?
8,000?
Yes.
8,000 patients?
Yes.
Actually, I'm
No. You notice he's doing the classic liar's technique, right? You guys have caught that when he was asked the first question? He's doing the classic liar thing. He's asked a question. He repeats the question back like 2 or 3 times. Why? He does that because he's buying time to come up with a lie. That is a classic liar's technique. Whenever they have to come up with a fictional story or basically work up a lie that can sound plausible, is they'll buy themselves time by repeating the question back over and over and over again, acting like I don't understand. Excuse me. How bad is the fraud in Canada cities? I don't know. We don't have a Nick. We don't really have a Nick Shirley. Although he did do that thing in Vancouver like about a year ago, I think it was. It's like a year and a half ago. He did his video in Vancouver, but that wasn't really governing fraud. So I don't know how bad the fraud is in Canada, but let me put it this way. I have my suspicions. I cannot articulate why I have those suspicions because it's a matter of my personal OPSEC. So I have my suspicions. I don't have anything concrete, but I do have my suspicions. And I will say that I have had people in business before tell me that if they are a company-wide business, that they try to avoid hiring people from Quebec because the vast majority of like scammers and fraudsters do operate out of Quebec. So while I don't know to what degree it exists, it absolutely does. I have suspicions about about like fraud that might be occurring within Canada.
Idea for that number.
Would it be possible to have 8,000 patients here?
8,000 patients here when? I'm not sure.
Throughout the year.
Last year.
Last year. Actually, I don't know. I have no idea for that.
Would it be possible for you guys who run this daycare to handle 8,000 different patients in 1 year? Theoretically.
Who owns the business?
The boss, the owners, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Wait, what did he ask?
Theoretically.
Who owns the business?
The boss, the owners, I'm not sure. Yeah.
He doesn't even know who owns the business. Or he's pretending like he doesn't know who owns the business. Interesting.
You must know who owns the business.
We just have the managers and the owners. I really don't know.
Have you ever met the owners?
No, not yet.
Who's managing the business?
The director is the ladies. Yeah. But,
do you have a name?
I don't know about that one.
You don't know who employs you?
No. I just hired them last month.
Well, who hired you?
The managers too.
And how long have you all been working here?
A month.
All a month?
A month.
What happened to people who were here before last month?
I have no idea.
They all left?
Yeah.
Why would everybody leave in 1 month?
Very interesting.
You mean the patient or the members?
The people working here. If you all started last month.
The staff?
The staff.
Is he telling the truth or is he protecting managers? I think it's a little bit of both. Or not a little bit of both. I think he's protecting the managers. I do think he's protecting the managers. And also he doesn't know who the actual employer is. Because again, this is being probably operated like a mob operation. So the owners are probably like a shadowy figure that no one in this building has ever met. The managers are the one that do all the hiring and firing and operating of the business on the front end. And they are 100% protecting the managers. Because you notice, no names have been uttered. Who's your boss? I don't know. Who are the managers? The ladies. The ladies are the managers. No names.
When I came here, I just met them, and they are already set up, so I really don't know about that one.
And did you all started working here last month?
It's not. This lady and that lady's not like more than 1 month.
So it sounds like you guys got a whole new staff here. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate you. Have a good day. Some major red flags right there. All the people have just started working there in the past month, they said.
Yep.
They said. I mean,
their past employees
left. The entire front office is last month, or it's not what's happening. Some of these things we haven't been able to check on, but if you're bringing all new people in, there's a problem. They don't know really who their manager is. They don't have any idea who the owner is. In fact, they're a little scared of even talking about the fact that there's an owner, and they weren't willing to acknowledge that 8,000 patients. I mean, that was a great question. How do you get 8,000 patients through this door here a year?
Yep.
Impossible. They admitted it.
These people don't want to say who the owner is, mainly because they don't know it, and that also helps us confirm, like, that is this like some sort of mafia that's running this whole entire ring around here, because they don't even know who their employer is.
I have a different take. I don't think it's necessarily the mafia running it. What if it's the CCP? Take the mafia out of the equation. What if it's Chinese? What if it's the CCP that have that are basically doing this operations to subvert America, to basically drain America of its money to try and weaken it. I could very easily see this being a Chinese government operation. Is there a difference? Yes, there is. The mafia, the mafia, the triad is the mafia. They are in business for themselves. The CCP is the government. So yes, there is a difference, and I'm gonna hazard a guess that it's not the mafia that's pulling the strings on this one. I think it's the Chinese CCP.
That's a question everyone should be asking themselves. If I worked in a business, I would pretty
CCP,
quickly
Chinese
learn who
Communist
was the actual
Party.
owner. I'd know the manager. If the whole front office was hired that month, I'd be a little concerned. And yet they seem to be playing cards with each other and exchanging winks and glances and, you know, tipping each other off that they shouldn't be going any further. And they had no interest in you looking at the facility, which is another red flag, because if you're proud of the facility, you'd brag on it. You wouldn't pretend you were seeing, they made up a number of 50 patients a day, which I don't think that's possible. I only saw one table back there, like 6 people at it.
Wow, $193 million in fraud that they discovered in this video alone. That was like up and down one street in Flushing, New York. They discovered almost $200 million in potential fraud. That is insane. But again, the question is, okay, we see the fraud. What are you going to do about it now? And until we get an answer to that question, all of the investigation, I'm sorry, pointing out the problems doesn't mean fuck all if you don't have a solution to the problem. And that's what the people want. They don't want, they appreciate people like Nick constantly pointing out the problems and identifying the problems. They're very much appreciative of people like Nick that do that. Now they want solutions. We have the problems. Where's the solutions?
Burns bright.